poorest ones, for heaven comes to where they are in you. In you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucas Duke. I'm a senior here at LaGrange College. As we gather today to sign the Honor Code, I invite you to think about what it means to live ethically, not just in academics, but in your life outside of the classroom. Let's begin with some of the words you just heard in the popular worship song, The Beatitudes, by Hillsong. Blessed are the poorest ones, for heaven comes to where they are in you. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Oh, the pure in heart, they shall see God. These lyrics are based on the words of Jesus from the Sermon on the Mount, words that call us to a very different way of life than we see all around us. These verses are called the Beatitudes. They are not just blessings, they are a blueprint for an ethical life filled with mercy, humility, and justice. These Bible verses from Matthew 5, 1 through 12 tells us what it means to live a life of truth in and outside of the classroom. Now, some of you may already know that LaGrange College is affiliated with the United Methodist Church, commonly known as the UMC. The UMC considers ethical questions by thinking about and considering Scripture, tradition, reason, and experience. This is called the UMC Quadrilateral. Scripture is the most important. Let's take a look at how the Beatitudes and the Honor Code can come together in this framework. Again, Scripture is our first and primary guide. Jesus begins his most famous sermon not with laws or warnings, but with blessings. These blessings are known as the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. The verses tell us that God honors those who are not the strongest, not the loudest. Instead, he honors the humble, the just, and the merciful. When you sign the Honor Code, you're aligning yourself with people who are called to follow the Beatitudes. Our Christian history is filled with people who live the Beatitudes courageously. Think of Mother Teresa, who served the forgotten and unloved on the streets of Calcutta, India. Think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a peacemaker who was faced with persecution as he worked for justice. No one is perfect, but these are two examples of people who believe that truth and justice really do matter. Another important Christian philosopher, St. Augustine, one of the greatest church thinkers of all time, believed that truth was not just a moral principle. He argued that to live truthfully is to live in harmony with God. St. Augustine is quoted saying, "All truth is God's truth." Your academic honesty is more than just a school policy. It is a spiritual connection to God. When we uphold the Honor Code, we are trying to be like these role models, not just avoiding dishonesty, but becoming better people. The United Methodist tradition invites us to think critically and ask, why does this matter? Why be honest when it's hard? Now, we all know that AI can write papers and solve difficult math problems, but only you can decide to act with integrity. Let's take a moment to think about what dishonesty in college actually looks like, because it's not always as dramatic as copying an entire test. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it seems harmless. But every time, your trustworthiness is damaged. Here are some of the few common examples. Copying homework from a friend because you were too tired or overwhelmed to do it yourself. Googling answers during an online quiz or test when that is not allowed. Using AI tools like ChatGPT to write an essay without doing your own thinking and calling it your own work. Or falsifying lab results because the experiment didn't work. And the most common, helping a friend in ways that cross the line into academic dishonesty, like giving them your answers instead of helping them learn. In each of these cases, the temptation is real, and the pressure may feel unbearable, but dishonesty creates cracks in our character. And St. Augustine would remind us, our hearts were made for truth. We also need to think about our own experiences. Maybe you've been in a class where you looked the other way when people were cheating. Or maybe you've been tempted to cut corners yourself when no one was watching. Real experiences remind us honor is not just something we read about, it's a choice we make. We want God to meet us when we have those experiences and help us do the right thing. So today, as you sign the LaGrange College Honor Code, you are doing more than putting pen to paper. Hopefully, by signing this code, you are saying, I will try to live the Beatitudes. I will try to think ethically about the decisions I make. I will try not just to do well, but to do good. And I will surround myself with those who will help me live out the Lord's teachings. The people you walk with will shape your walk. Be the friend who encourages integrity and not shortcuts. Be the roommates who reminds others that mercy matters more than winning. Remember, the Beatitudes aren't about perfection. They are about the kind of person you want to become. With God's help, one choice at a time. Thank you.